Amy and I regularly hosted holiday parties for the neighbors. The party started with just 4 couples and grew steadily over the years. This year, there were over 35 participants, and about a third of them did not live in our neighborhood. My guess is that the increase in attendance was largely due to the increasingly heavy consumption of alcohol and the silly naughty games that became a much anticipated event. Every year the games became a little more risky, but never went too far. Like Amy and I, most of the members were between 25 and 35 years old, and most had a couple kids. So it wasn't exactly the wild and crazy group you might hang out with in college. They were just good, hard-working young parents who needed to let their hair down one night a year. The neighborhood ladies always brought more food than the partygoers could ever eat. And all the husbands and I made sure there was plenty of booze. So when a few neighbors started bringing friends from outside the area, it was no big deal. Well, until this year, it wasn't anything special. This year, without telling me, my wife invited several of her colleagues to a party. Among those she invited was Ron Stevens. Ron was her teammate in their company's outside sales department. She and Amy had worked together for the past 5 years and had become very close. Perhaps a little too close if my suspicions were accurate. They often traveled together and attended week-long outside sales conferences twice a year. Just a few days before the party, he was the subject of some pretty heated conversations in our family. His presence in my house prevented me from enjoying the evening. I helped Amy clean the house and take out the trash. When I returned, she was just finishing up in the kitchen. It's time to deal with her. So what made you think inviting Ron and your other coworkers to our neighbor's party was a good idea? I like these people, so I thought it would be fun to invite them here. I think they all had fun and got along well with everyone else. What's the problem here? Really, Amy? You know how I feel about your relationship with this guy, and you invited him to my house. This is my home too, Mark. I can invite whoever I want to my party. I don't need your permission. So, you think it's okay to embarrass me by flaunting your boyfriend at my house in front of your coworkers and our friends? Do you think I didn't see your colleagues' grins and raised eyebrows? What are you talking about? I told you 50 times. Ron is not my boyfriend. Nobody smirked at you. It's all just your stupid jealousy, and I'm already fed up with it. Do you think no one saw you sneak upstairs with him? What were you doing, Amy? Why did you need to be upstairs alone with Mr. Wonderful? Fuck you. We didn't make it upstairs. He needed the toilet. The downstairs bathroom was occupied. I just showed him the guest bathroom. I wasn't up there for more than a minute or two. God, you're getting funny. Another lie. You disappeared for more than 30 minutes. I know because your slutty accomplice Gail tried to keep me busy so I wouldn't. Notice you sneaking off with Ron. I saw what she was doing, so I kept an eye on the clock. You're crazy. Gail was probably just trying to be friendly. I noticed that she did not respond to the accusation of lying. She was a skilled negotiator, but apparently a less skilled liar. Amy, surprising me by inviting her boyfriend here, was a low blow and the last straw. I will no longer put up with your lies and disrespect. I turned and walked up the steps as she spewed more lies and insults. I went into our bathroom and started gathering some of my toiletries. As I was putting my things in my bag, I dropped at my deodorant. I bent down and had to dig through the trash to get it out and caught a flash of gold foil. My heart sank and my hand froze. I took a deep breath and grabbed the foil. Damn it, it was a condom wrapper. Game over. I had a vasectomy after the birth of our second child, so I didn't need condoms. Now I knew that everything I suspected was true. She cheated on me. Amy burst through the open bathroom door, continuing to hurl insults and tell me I was being paranoid. I stood with my back to her and slowly turned to face her, holding the foil in front of me. It's not paranoia when it's true. Oh, damn. Oh, to put this in as some kind of joke. It's not what you think. I didn't do anything. Stop, stop, just stop lying. It's over. Amy, I've had enough. Do not even think about it. It's not over yet. It was a mistake. This was not my plan. Yes, I know you didn't plan for me to find evidence of your deception. This was a big mistake. No, no, no. That's not what I mean. Please let me explain what happened. I think it's pretty damn obvious what happened. You snuck out of the party and fucked your boyfriend while I was downstairs entertaining. Your friends. Was that especially exceeding? Fuck him in my house while I was downstairs. No, it wasn't like that at all. Please, baby, please let me explain. This is not what I planned. I put the foil in my pocket. Amy stumbled to the side as I pushed past her. I heard her trying to catch me as I walked into the guest bedroom and slammed the door in her face. I pressed the lock just as Amy grabbed the handle. Mark, please, you have to let me explain. It's not what you think. Please, Mark. Please open the door. You must talk to me. Please open the door. I was sure she didn't know how to pick the door lock, but I moved the chest of drawers to the door just in case. Amy banged on the door and begged me to open it until I turned on the TV and turned up the volume. It was difficult to fall asleep. I replayed in my head every time Amy worked late, went on overnight sales trips, and attended conferences. She's been fucking wrong this whole time. Shit. It was too painful to imagine, but it seemed to be real. Questions, doubts, pain, disappointment. It was painful. I hardly slept. It seemed like only a few minutes had passed before the morning sun burst through the window, mocking me. I threw back the blanket and got out of bed. I had a lot to do this Sunday morning. I pushed the chest of drawers aside and walked out into the hall. The door to the room was open. I leaned over just enough to see that Amy was still spread out across the bed. I closed the door and went into the guest bathroom to freshen up. I got dressed and went to the kitchen for coffee. I had just carried my cup to the table when Amy entered. She looked terrible. Her eyes were puffy. Her hair was a mess. Her nose was red. And I think she had a hangover. But damn it, she still seemed beautiful to me. My stomach clenched from another wave of pain. Crap. How could this happen to us? Enough from my cup. Help yourself, I said, pointing to the counter. Her coffee cup stood next to the coffee pot. I had already poured the exact amount of skim milk she liked into the cup, just like I did every morning. Heck, I didn't even realize I did it. She poured herself some coffee, took it to the table, and sat down opposite me. Mark, I screwed up. I thought I was being so smart. I thought this would teach you a lesson. But now I realize that I ruined everything. I'm a fool. I just wanted to shock you, but everything went wrong. I, I'd, I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve to be treated like that. You have every right to be angry with me. Well, thank you for giving me your permission to be angry. That's so generous of you. You invite your boyfriend to my house and then proceed to fuck him, knowing that the house is full of our friends and your colleagues. God, it's really generous of you to let me be angry about this. No, no, no. Darling, please let me explain from the beginning. It's a little late to explain your plans. Me and all our neighbors had to watch you put your plan into action last night. Oh my God. Amy jumped up and ran to my chair. She pulled on one side of the chair, turning me away from the table, quickly straddling me and wrapping her arms around my neck. Please, baby, you have to let me explain this. Please, just give me 5 minutes. Please, Mark. I pulled my head away from her face, away from her lips. When she tried to kiss me on the cheek, while she begged me, tears streamed down her face. I was so angry. I almost stood up and dropped her on her cheating ass. But I knew I could never physically hurt her. Even if she fully deserved it, I just couldn't do it. I mean, what kind of cowardly weakling do I have to be to physically harm a woman? I took a deep breath and let it out slowly. Okay, Amy, 5 minutes. Now, please get off me. 5 minutes? And I won't budge. I can't risk you leaving before I tell you everything. I raised my left wrist and looked at my watch. Now I know it was really stupid, but it was all just pretend last night. Until that stupid Ron did something stupid. I raised an eyebrow. You've been complaining about Ron for months. You repeatedly said that you didn't trust him, and therefore you didn't believe that I could handle this idiot. Even if I tell you that I had no sexual interest in him, you won't believe me. It was like you thought I was a naive little teenage girl who couldn't resist a smarmy salesman, as if I would ever buy his lines or any other shitty guy. I admit that he did try to hit on me like a lot of other guys. Heck, sometimes even some of my clients pester me, thinking I could sweeten the deal just to make the sale. Mark, I'm not a dog. I know what I look like. And I know guys will always try, but I always say no. Of course, I learned to say no with a sweet smile, so as not to hurt anyone's pride, but it's always a firm no. So after what seemed like the 40th or 50th time you started pestering me about some crap, I just got mad and decided to show you how stupid you were being. So I came up with a plan and asked Ron and Gail to help me. I knew you saw me go upstairs with Ron. In fact, we had to wait until you finished filling the ice bowl, so you would be facing the stairs when we made our move. Gail had to be so obvious that you would immediately realize that she was our red herring while we made our way. Upstairs, everything worked out exactly as I planned. I took Ron to our room and sat him in my chair. I sat on the bed and waited for you to burst into the room. After a few minutes, I realized that you would not come to save me or confront me. At that moment, I was too drunk to understand how much I hurt you. I guess I thought you just gave up on us and started crying. Ron came over to me, pulled me into his arms, and let me cry on his shoulder. After a few minutes, I realized that he was stroking my back and hair. I stopped crying and started to move away from him, but he kissed me. I was probably a few seconds late in reacting, and he took it as a green light. His hand slid down my back and grabbed my ass. I pushed his chest, and he broke the kiss. I growled at him and asked him what the hell he was doing. He grinned and said, "Oh please, I know the plan was just a ploy to lure me here. Well, we're here now, so let's get down to business." As he spoke, Ron pulled it down his pants. "This stupid bastard is already wearing a condom." I bent down, took off my heel, and threw it at him, hitting him in the chest. He winced and looked at me, finally seeing my indignant face. Then he simply turned and ran into the bathroom. He must have tossed the condom, flushed the water, and tossed the foil in the trash while he was there. Babe, I had no idea this dumbass would do shit like that. I told Gail what he did, and she kicked his ass and made him leave with her. I can call her, and she will confirm all this. I just looked at her. I stood up very slowly, wrapping one arm around her and lifting her off my lap. I let go of her, took my cup and walked over to the coffee maker. As I refilled my cup, she slid next to me. "Mark, please talk to me. I know you're angry about what I did, but I didn't cheat. I told you what happened. Like most of us, he was a little drunk last night and screwed up. Kissing and exposing myself was definitely not my plan. He's stupid. I don't want to cause any problems at work. But come Monday at the office, Gail and I will make sure he suffers for his stupidity." "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Can you ever forgive me?" I studied her for a moment. "So what you're saying is that you faked your little secret climb up the stairs, so that I would be sure that I would witness it. You expected me to be so angry that I would rush into our bedroom to stop my wayward wife. Then, when I would burst into the room and find you two just sitting there and innocently chatting, I assume you were planning to laugh and make fun of me for being a jealous spouse. Let me guess, Gail was going to lead the rest of your co-workers up the stairs behind me, so they could all join in laughing at your stupid paranoid husband. Maybe as a group they would make such a scene that everyone else at the party would rush to see what was going on, and then all my friends and neighbors could join in laughing at the jealous buffoon. Did you think that by humiliating me in front of everyone, you would teach me once and for all to trust you and never doubt your loyalty to me? I just wanted you to finally understand how wrong you were about Ron, how you kept jumping to the wrong conclusions, and how much it hurt me when you believed these things about me. I guess I thought our joke would be an effective way to show you how wrong you were. So, when I didn't run up the stairs and rush into you too, it ruined your fun and made you so angry that you needed to punish me in another way. So, you've come up with a great way to teach me a lesson, show me who's boss, put me in my place." Amy turned pale. "What do you mean? Which lesson? What are you talking about? In fact, you let Ron have sex." with you on my bed while I was downstairs playing host. This must have been some truly delicious revenge for ruining your plans. Oh my God, here we are again. I told you what happened. Yes, you told me a version of what happened, not a complete version. As you left out a few details, I'm sure you and Gail spent a lot of time last night reworking this version to include some of the truth, just enough truth to make it believable. I have no idea what you're talking about. Look, Mark, I said I was wrong. Please, baby, let's just forget about my stupid plan and stop fighting. Oh, I don't think so, I said and pulled a plastic bag out of my pocket. This was your revenge. This is the part of your story that you didn't tell me. This proves that I can't trust anything you've told me. Amy looked at the bag, trying to see what was in it. I picked it up, letting it jiggle slightly in my fingers. She narrowed her eyes and saw. I smiled, seeing the shock on her face. He's really stupid. He tied it off before flushing the water. The trapped air bubble kept it afloat. I got up in the middle of the night to go pee and found him floating in the toilet. This idiot never bothered to check to see if it was washed away. Oh my God, Amy stared at me, her mouth open. Yeah, I guess when I didn't throw myself into your little trap, you were so angry that you decided to teach me a lesson. Then you realized that I shouldn't find out about this, so you kicked him out of the house and later you called Gail and developed a story that you told me. I'm guessing Gail has been on the phone all morning, spoon-feeding your version of events to your friend. Amy lowered her head. I had foil and a condom filled with cum. There was no way she could spin her sanitized version of what happened to explain the cum-filled condom. Defeated, she took a deep breath. I'm sorry I lied to you. You're right. When you didn't rush upstairs, I lost my temper and wanted to punish you. I was just drunk enough to let it happen without thinking. This seemed like a good way to teach you a lesson. I know, stupid, right? Damn, everything I did was stupid. My plan to embarrass you was stupid. I really ruined everything. As she hung her head and cried, I thought about what this meant for our future. Was this the end for us? Could I survive a one-time event born of anger and frustration that I helped fuel with my constant doubts many months ago? I knew something had changed. Why did I believe she was messing with Ron? Why was she willing to go to such extremes to make me see that Ron was never a threat? At least not until she let her drunkenness and her anger get the better of her last night. This was not the Amy I married. When did sex become so meaningless to her that she could use it as symbolic punishment? Crap. I looked at her sobbing figure. She had become a skilled manipulator. Gail must have taught her the fine art of negotiating to the best of her ability. Gail, her mentor, a woman who consistently outperformed all her male competitors. Gail, now an aging sales manager, took young Amy under her wing. Gail showed Amy how to win every negotiation with her male clients. How could I be so blind? I was so proud of her for suddenly becoming the top seller. She has received many awards and bonuses over the past few years. But at what cost? Time for some answers. I slowly started clapping my hands. Bravo, bravo, real performance. Such fast thinking. Gail taught you well. It didn't take you long to realize that you had lost the fight with Ron. So you're giving me this tearful apology, hoping that I'll focus on your one mistake. A mistake you made in the heat of the moment and while slightly drunk. A mistake that you're pretty sure you can convince your children's father to forgive for the sake of the children. I have to admit that this is a pretty good strategy. You know that I am hopelessly devoted to my girls and would do anything for them. So you expect me to be willing to sacrifice my outrage over a mistake so as not to cause heartache to my innocent children. Why not? I mean, now you've admitted your cruel plan to teach me a lesson by humiliating me. And you admitted to the mistake you made in drunk upset when I foiled your plan. You took the blame for all this and asked me for forgiveness. My God, what else could you do? The tears stopped. Amy froze in place, studying my face, trying to read my unspoken thoughts. She didn't say a word. I could practically see her mind racing to figure out where this was going. and how she could regain control of the situation. Amy, I believe what you told me about Ron and what happened at the party. I'm sorry that I suspected you of having an affair with him. I'm now convinced that this was the only time you had sex with Ron. Yeah, baby, this was the only time, I swear. It was a stupid mistake, and I promise I will never do it again. Please, honey, can we just leave this behind? I love you so much. Please, baby, please. Even if I said that, I'm ready to forgive you for trying to humiliate me and forgive sex with another man in our marital bed. There's still a problem with everyone else. What? What do you mean? What are the others? I have to admit, it took me too long to understand this. Once I met Gail and heard all the rumors about her, I should have seen it coming, but I trusted you. Then, later, when my gut kept telling me that something was wrong, I thought it was wrong. I was wrong about Ron, but I had every reason to worry. About you is not it. Worry. What do you mean by concern? I do not understand what you're saying. I sighed tiredly and leaned back in my chair, shaking my head. I'm so tired of deception, half-truths, and wagging. I had no actual proof of what she was doing, but I knew deep down, that I had lost her months ago. My sweet love, the woman I hoped to love for the rest of my life, was gone. There is no doubt that Gail showed her the path to wealth and rewards, but it was Amy who decided to follow this path. She voluntarily decided to disregard her vows and engage in prostitution. And for what? Amy, I know how you close so many sales. I can't even begin to tell you how much it hurts me to know who you have become. The shock on her face was all the confirmation I needed. It was short, but I saw it before she could pull herself together and smile at me. Mark, honey, I thought we were done with this nonsense. I admitted my only mistake, but I have no idea what you're talking about right now. We need to get ourselves in order and go get your daughters. I know they love your parents, but I'm sure they miss their dad. So that's exactly what we did. I spent the rest of the day admiring my girls and considering my options. On Monday, I contacted a lawyer and filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. My lawyer told me not to hold my breath and not to count on it too much, but she still filed a petition asking for joint custody of the girls with me as the primary guardian. I asked to serve Amy at work to make sure it got Gail's attention. In the middle of the day, my phone rang right after I received confirmation that she had been served. Mark, are you crazy? Are you going to divorce me over this Ron crap? Baby, you can't do this to our girls. You love them too much. Punish me in any way you wish. Just please don't destroy our family. I already told you Ron is just a small part of it. I simply cannot be married to the woman you have become crazy talk again. Obviously, you're having a hard time accepting my stupid mistake. I understand that, but this divorce crap is going to hurt our girls. Maybe a consultation would help us. Would you like me to organize this? Sign the papers, Amy. Then you will be free to live your life as you wish. The girls and I can handle it just fine on our own. They can stay with me while you travel, and you can see them as often as you like. Do not even think about it. There will be no damn divorce. Mark, I love you. Please don't make me fight you. An hour later, my phone rang and it was Gail. I was expecting her call. Tell your protege to sign the papers. This is your only option. She signs the contract. The girls stay with me and you continue to pimp her for your clients. Stupid boy, you have no proof that she ever did anything other than that one time with Ron, and it had nothing to do with me. I don't need proof. It is enough for me to make this statement very loudly and publicly. She has done this so often that I am sure at least one of your competitors will be willing to put in the time and energy to get the evidence needed to file a complaint. You will do this. Would you destroy her just for revenge? You know the girls will suffer. 2, if anything comes out about their mother, she will sign the papers or I will go public. And Gail, if this becomes public, I will definitely include your participation in training and consultation. You advised her on how to become the new sales star in your company instead of you. You are old. Do you think the board of directors will have any questions for you? Tell her to sign, and she will listen to you. My lawyer received the signed papers a week later. Amy moved into a nice apartment about 2 miles from our house. She sees the girls often and usually attends all their school and sporting events. We rarely talk, and as far as I know, she is still using all her assets to close sales and win awards. I don't know if I'll ever get married again, but if I find myself thinking about it, I'll definitely ask a lot of questions before I put a ring on my lady's finger. Lesson learned. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you. And go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.